after Christmas, a lot of times we get distracted and forget about taking down our Christmas ornaments and items and start thinking about planting seeds. But before we do any of that, we are out visiting with Dr. Whitcomb, who still has some Christmas lights hanging up. Dr. Whitcomb, you've got a problem that a lot of us are facing. Tell us a little bit about how you're managing the deer population and the damage.
Yeah, the deer population is going nuts. Just up, 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 up because of the elimination of the screwworm fly.
Okay.
That was affecting not only livestock, but deer as well.
Yes.
Well, they've become such a nuisance out here that one of the ideas that occurred to me 2 years ago is taking solar-powered Christmas lights and putting them out in the field to deter the deer. Deer become so attuned to a constant light, a constant sound or something, that they soon just ignore it. The lights are solar powered, so I don't have to fool with batteries or anything. How long they'll last, I don't know. But some of these are 2 years old and still work beautifully. But there's several different settings you can use, but the one that I like, it says flashing in waves, slow, sequential, twinkle flash, steady on, and then slow glow. But
so they're all doing different things at different times?
I have 4 strands of lights out here to protect Rose of Sharon plants that the deer just devastate. But by having 4 of these, when this series is doing blink, 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 another series is doing blink, 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 or maybe is off for a little bit. But the fact that, and it takes them 8 minutes to do this whole sequence. So I've never noticed them doing the same thing. There's 8 minutes is enough, and then they will do all blue lights, and then all red lights. It looks like Las Vegas out here at night.
And you don't have these on every row, right?
No,
you just have it because you have thousands of plants out here you're trying to protect.
What I started out 2 years ago to protect, I've got about 12,000 Rose of Sharon plants out there. And yeah, the ones I planted in 20 and 21, we didn't get a flower. The new growth would come out and it'd be grazed off within a day. And this has stopped that. Very effectively, pretty inexpensively.
So you have them strung up over your head even, so they're fairly high up. Is there a purpose for them being high other than the plants?
Well, it is, because the plants operate on a 4-year cycle. If a plant hasn't shown me something good, they go on the burn pile, okay? And so by the time the 4 years old, they will be up here 4 to 5 feet tall. So I've got them set up here to where these plants can get up high enough in their normal growth cycle, and the lights will still be above. I think higher is better than lower. The effect of the light laterally is difficult to say for sure, but all these rows are on 10-foot centers. I've got a string of lights in row 6, a string in row 20, and there's no feeding in between. The only time I've seen feeding since I've had these out here in the field was last summer, when it was so hot and so dry and there was so little vegetation that they started nibbling on the ends of the rows furthest away from the lights.
Because of course you're irrigating here, so there's green vegetation for them to come in and get here.
Drip irrigation's wonderful stuff. And it was providing green new growth, but
so now deer have another issue with our garden. Not only do they eat on them, but just during rut, the rubbing that they can do. You've got a solution for that too?
Well,
another Christmas item? You
know, the old thing that's been around for a long time has been to use various soaps. I've used Irish Spring effectively, and there's a couple of other brands that are particularly odoriferous. And I just cut this one in a piece. What I do, if I just want to protect an individual plant, I'll take a bar of soap, drill holes through it, and then cut it into 6 pieces. So I've got a hole to tie it with or use a piece of wire, and that will last for months.
Okay.
It's a big enough chunk to really be effective of this Irish Spring. But even that doesn't deter rutting. The rutting is a different phenomenon from grazing. But the thing that I am now doing that looks like it's going to be very effective, and it has been this year, again, going back to the Christmas ornaments, something makes noise.
A jingle bell.
Yeah. One of them did fair when I put 3 on a tree to where they would bump one another. The sound isn't the same if 3 bells are hitting one another than if just 1 bell. But when they go to rub on the tree, you get this sound that otherwise isn't there. That becomes a deterrent. And this has been effective. Okay. So again, and you could leave these up there the year round if you weren't offended by the appearance. But
and so clearly this isn't a solution for every one of your plants, but when you're noticing something is getting damaged, you go and...
This only provides for an individual plant. Okay. Just like the soap only provides for an individual plant as far as the grazing goes.
Well, if you haven't taken down your Christmas lights, you are in good company. And it might be that you have a solution to the deer problem in your garden also. Dr. Whitcomb, thank you so much for sharing this creative solution with us.
You're welcome. Give it a try. Little to lose, and you can lighten up your whole garden.
Absolutely. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.